Welcome to another episode of Hard Factor presented by the Barstool News Network. It is Tuesday, June 2nd, 2020. We've got a packed show today. All kinds of curfew updates and all kinds of stuff that came out of the White House, virtual walkouts, all kinds of shit. Wes, get us going.
Wait. Real quick, the news obviously doth keep giving, but right now, stop what you're doing. Sign up for Sirius. I think it's still free. I'm still getting it for free. Sirius XM.
Oh, yeah.
Power 85 Barstool. We're on today. We're on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, 11 till noon. You might want to check it out today, 11 till noon, because there's a fucking listener debate that's incredible. Get the Sirius station. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Do that. And then remind everybody at the end, too. My bad. Forgot about that.
That's all good. Go ahead, Wes.
Are you guys ready to get into this?
Yeah.
All right. So last night, in the midst of complete and utter chaos in Washington, D.C., with police and protesters violently clashing, President Trump took to the mic in the Rose Garden with the sound of chaos in the background. His opening statement was this. I'm just going to read it word for word. I'm going to go over some facts here because I think it's important that everyone hears this and understands it completely. I swore an oath to uphold the laws of our nation, and this is exactly what I will do. All Americans were rightly sickened and revolted by the brutal death of George Floyd. Good of him to say that. My administration is fully committed that for George and his family, justice will be served. He will not have died in vain, but we cannot allow the righteous cries and peaceful protesters to be drowned out by an angry mob. The biggest victims of the rioting are peace-loving citizens in our poorest communities, and as their president, I will fight to keep them safe. I will fight to protect you. I am your president of law and order and an ally of all peaceful protesters. But in recent days...
that was Dick Wolf.
Right, yeah. But in recent days, our nation has been gripped by professional anarchists, violent mobs, arsonists, looters, criminals, rioters, Antifa, and others. That is how we opened up to the nation from the Rose Garden while police were clashing with protesters in the background.
While they were firing rubber bullets and tear gas. It was quite the surreal moment to watch the split screen of the protesters.
Yeah.
Protesters getting absolutely destroyed.
You guys watched it on CNN with the split screen. I watched it on C-SPAN, no split screen.
I watched it on both.
Intense.
I watched Fox News
crazy.
and CNN. They cleared the protesters from the park that they were in so he could do that weird-ass photo op at the church with the Bible. So
they were clearing the path, right, to the walk over.
But he is, as he said, what did he say? He's an ally of peaceful protesting, which is...
Yeah.
Well, except if you're in the way to the church, then you got to move out of the way with tear gas and all that.
Right. Yeah. And Don Lemon on CNN was like pretty much kind of called it, which was, I don't like Don Lemon to be honest with you, but he kind of called it. He's like, here it comes. He's gonna get this violence going. Then he's gonna take to the stage. It's gonna be a big photo op. Maybe he did that. Maybe he didn't. Maybe, like he said, we're just trying to clear the path to the church. But it was interesting timing for sure.
It was weird.
Yeah, interesting timing for sure. So with that, he is unleashing the United States military on U.S. citizens and is invoking or threatening to invoke the Insurrection Act of 1807. He's doing it in D.C. There was military rolling out and is recommending that the governors unleash the National Guard. And if they cannot quell the violence themselves, he will invoke the Insurrection Act all over the country, saying
a lot of governors already called the National
Yes, a lot of governors have, but he's
at least 15 states will.
Right. He's reiterating that if they don't take care of this shit, he will, saying, quote, I will deploy the United States military and quickly solve the problem for them. And so here's what the act says. By the way, insurrection is defined by Merriam-Webster as, quote, an act or instance of revolting against civil authority or an established government. So the Insurrection Act says this: an act authorizing the employment of the land and naval forces of the United States in cases of insurrections.
So putting down the way we were started as a country, which I guess makes sense.
Well, there's not an insurrection going on, though. That's the point. There's not an insurrection whatsoever. This is for when people are trying to overthrow the government.
Well,
Wes, did you say the Insurrection Act was from 1807?
Yes. A little outdated, right?
They didn't update that or anything?
No, they've tried to update it to
amend it or anything?
They tried to amend it in 2006 after Katrina. Bush tried to give the president complete authority to just do it whenever he wants, but
anytime.
At any time. But it was shot down, luckily. But the way it is now is that I think from what I read, if the president gives formal warning that if shit doesn't get cleaned up, that he can do it against the governor's wills. It would be the first time that any president would have ever done it against the governor's wills. And I mean, just off the top of my head, maybe we see another impeachment for abuse of power if that happens. Who knows?
He also asked for a curfew, right?
Yeah, he wants. I'll pull up a tweet that is going viral from Kamala Harris that it says, "These are not the words of a president. They are the words of a dictator." And that is kind of the sentiment of the left right now in response to his speech.
Sure.
Is that it sounds very authoritarian and dictatorish and, law and order, all that stuff. They're not happy with it. Let me just read the Insurrection Act. It basically says the president, for the purpose of suppressing such insurrections or causing the laws to be duly executed, shall be lawful for him to employ for the same purposes such part of the land or naval force of the United States. So he can bring in the military. That's what he wants to do. Not just the National Guard, like the fucking army.
The last time this was used was 1992 for the Rodney King.
Yes.
But he can only bring in the military if the state government requests it or allows for
this
it
was
to
just
happen.
a request that they use the National Guard and institute a curfew,
Right.
but he could implement.
So he can do it in D.C., but he can't do it in Virginia or North Carolina.
It should be called like the Vampire Act. I think he needs to be invited in by state governments. Obviously, he's in charge of the D.C. area, so he can implement it in D.C., but I think he needs some sort of
Listen,
local...
I got it. This is what it is. So he must first issue a proclamation ordering the insurgents to disperse within a limited time. If the situation does not resolve itself, i.e. the governors and the mayors don't take care of it, the president may issue an executive order to send in the troops, which I'm not, and people are not sure if maybe this speech was that warning. I don't know if it has to be formal in writing, but he definitely gave a warning tonight, that's for sure. Or last night. We record this at night. Let's just fucking be honest about it. We don't know what might have happened by the time this airs in the morning. But like Mark said, the last time was under Bush Sr. during the Rodney King. It's not cut and dry. But if
outside of Hurricane Hugo in 1989, it's been all race riots. 1968 Chicago race riots, Baltimore riots in 1968. DC riots, Detroit riots, 1967, Little Rock 9 in the late 50s.
Well, it's all riots.
It's all race riots. So it's like you said, we haven't really learned anything. It's all these race riots. Nothing's changed.
We're just gonna suppress, and then who knows? If
and then let's go back to
progress.
The Insurrection Act of 1807 should work.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy. So
that's what I didn't like. I didn't like that there wasn't both sides thing. I would like to have some positivity along with that negative.
He had one
news.
sentence about George Floyd and that his death will not be in vain, and then he went on to, "We're gonna fucking slam you guys if you don't stop this shit."
For me,
Did you guys hear
go ahead.
the conversation between the Illinois governor and him that was released? Because he called all the governors.
Yes.
And
I did.
The governor was like, "Hey, I don't think this is a good idea." And he's like, "Well, I don't think you've been doing a good job, governor in Illinois." And it was like, "What?"
And he goes, we agreed. He goes, "We don't really see eye to eye. Do we do a governor?" But to me, it's like obviously Antifa and the groups that are inciting are awful. They should be dealt. They should be dealt with. Their what do they call terrorist groups and stuff for sure. Lock them up forever if you catch them. But there's a bigger issue here. Like, why isn't he talking about once the Antifa is dealt with, what's the next step to make sure that we don't have another
the protesters should be able to
where's the
peacefully protest
legislation?
as much as they want.
Where's the legislation to make sure we don't have another
right.
fucking riot in 10 years or whatever it is, a month from now? Like, where's the bigger plan besides just stopping this fucking riot?
It's getting
There's no plan.
The protests are getting very clouded by all the violence, and I mean it does need to stop. The violence needs to stop. People are losing their businesses. There are people like innocent people's businesses are getting burned.
And the riots have to start.
In parallel,
but the protests don't have to stop.
In parallel, can we appease the?
But they're
the
all
civil
mixed
unrest?
together. A lot of them are all mixed together right now, and it's not the protesters' fault. It's these fucking riders' fault. But it's hard to distinguish them when they're all together. So it's very tricky.
And
I wouldn't want to be doing. I wouldn't want to be
humans that are
focused.
throwing rocks, though. Some of the humans that are throwing rocks aren't fucking Antifa. They're pissed off Americans. And I'm not saying they should be doing that, but that's the truth.
Right. When you cause property damage to innocent people's shit, you need to you need to stop. You need to go to jail. It's not.
Yeah,
it's
but as
not
long as the
fucking-
protest is peaceful, the National Guard should allow them to do
absolutely.
as much as they want.
Absolutely. Peaceful protest all day long, for sure. So the violence has not stopped. Again, like I said, we record this podcast at night. I'm scared to see what I'm going to find when I wake up in the morning. But early yesterday, Louisville, Kentucky police killed a young African-American, David McAtee. He was killed during a confrontation over a violation of curfew. The details of the death are not fully known, as the officers who killed him had not activated their body cams conveniently. But they're saying that the shots were fired at them first. So, it's a he said, she said versus them right now, because no one really fucking knows. Hopefully some video comes out to prove one way or the other. But the chief of police of Louisville has been fired by the mayor there because of that, misstep or by the police there. Also in Omaha, a bar owner who killed a young African-American protester will not be charged in his death, as it was found he was acting in self-defense after being surrounded by a group of protesters, and apparently he was on the ground. So he's not going to be charged. So hopefully no more violence.
That was the one where they broke through his window, right?
Yeah, in the bar in Omaha. Yeah,
He had a shotgun behind the window. He was waiting for people.
Yeah. I mean,
really sad stuff.
Yeah, it's impossible to discern what is self-defense, who's a looter, who's a protester. It's
terrible. It's a tragedy.
It's terrible.
The looting and rioting is one thing. We need to
Right.
we need to get to the root of the issue and deal with it with legislation, with healing, with the other stuff too.
But it's both sides, right? It's both sides. You got to stop the madness, but also do the healing. And I think
that's what I'm saying. You can do the healing in parallel. There's not a lot of rhetoric towards the healing.
Yeah, there needs to be
I
more
think
of that.
people are pissed off because he's challenging the American people right now. A lot of people are perceiving it that way. Yes, I don't think things are so out of control that you need to bring in the National Guard necessarily. Like, there was lots of wonderful videos yesterday.
Some places there
Some places, yeah, but there was lots of dope videos yesterday coming out of people, of police forces demonstrating with their people. And kneeling with their people.
That's the majority of it.
And national curfew that he requested? Give me a break. That's the lamest thing I've ever heard of. National curfew? Hey, we're going to do a national curfew.
It's better than saying no national curfew in the violent. I mean, it's a step he's trying to take to.
I'm just saying that's the nerdiest name of anything ever.
Hey,
we're going to do a national curfew.
He's delivering it in a fucking combative way, and that's fucking not good. It was a bad move, major misstep by the president of the United States, in my opinion.
We're beating a dead horse here.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, after that, we got to pay some bills, so bear with me here. Let's take a second to breathe and think about a time of peace and change where the only fires burning are in our grills, searing some Omaha steaks to perfection. That sounds nice, huh?
Yeah.
I got to tell you, my son and girlfriend both had birthdays over the weekend, and I fired up a bunch of the treats that Omaha Steaks sent us. Some beautiful fillets, some fantastic dogs, which were a favorite of my little guy. Just a great product that I genuinely highly recommend. Right now, Omaha Steaks is offering our listeners access to a variety of amazing packages that are perfect to send dad for Father's Day. Go to omahasteaks.com and enter the code FACTOR in the search bar. You'll see all of the great options available, many that include free shipping and a free 1-pound package of their perfectly cured, incredibly thick Applewood smoked steak cut bacon. It's just like Pat said yesterday. It's just like the thickens, right? Isn't that the term you use? Thickens.
Wrap
thickens.
Yeah.
Wrap me in it when I die. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Send me down in the grave with it.
Choke me with it.
Put a little maple syrup on those bad boys. Now you're talking. There are many packages available that are perfect for dad, and they're all ready to be shipped straight to his door in time for Father's Day. Omaha Steaks has a variety of Father's Day packages that include world-famous Omaha Steaks, naturally aged for 21 days for tenderness and hand-carved to perfection. Omaha Steaks delivers guaranteed quality and safety with every order. So send dad a gift of food he'll love this year. Make Father's Day simple this year, and send dad the gift he really wants, perfectly aged Omaha Steaks. And get free shipping and free steak cut bacon with select packages. Visit omahasteaks.com and factor in the search bar to shop for Father's Day.
All right, guys. Facebook employees did what everyone that their leader Mark Zuckerberg loves in life will do to him at one point, and that's walked out on him virtually on Monday. Basically, what happened?
I don't know. He does a lot for, like, he built his wife that clock. I mean, I feel like he might.
Yeah, she'll leave him. She'll leave him. He's a weirdo. Basically, what happened was Facebook workers who are already working from home took the day off and then indicated in out-of-office messages, so if you messaged them, that they're out of office in a show of protest, not not like being sick or on vacation. So
I did that
So they
yesterday
just
too.
switched
So
it
they
to
just switched their auto response to protest. I am on protest today. I will get back to you tomorrow. I'm virtually walking out. So they just, they walked out and home. They just didn't.
Not sure what's nerdier, national curfew or virtual walkout.
I was gonna say, I think virtual walkout has to be.
A virtual walkout. Can you believe this shit? They also have a list of demands for management, which is basically one demand, and that is to have Donald Trump fact-checked at least as stringently as he's being fact-checked on Twitter.
They want Twitter rules. Yeah.
Right. They're mad at Zuckerberg, who came out on Friday and said he wouldn't be censoring Trump or anyone at this time. He wouldn't be doing what Twitter's doing. So that is why they virtually walked out.
Hey, tune into Barstool Radio to hear a debate about that, and it is electric.
Yes, exactly. Today, Zuckerberg announced Sunday night that Facebook would make a $10 million donation to groups working on racial justice, which is nice, but it isn't stop a virtual walkout nice. So he's going to donate, but it doesn't matter. Look, guys,
Well, are they going to leave their message on auto reply again for another day, but still show up to work and answer emails because they want to get paid? Is that
Well,
what's
the
happening?
music business is having a virtual walkout today, or a blackout Tuesday,
yeah,
which is great because I'm not going to answer a couple emails.
I mean, you heard the show yesterday and today. I think you know where I stand socially on the civil unrest, but come on with this. Either leave the company if you're that upset, or don't.
Well, are you going to protest if you're virtually walking out, or are you just sitting in your living room?
No, they're not doing anything. They're sitting in their living room and hoping Zuckerberg starts
That makes
censoring.
no sense.
They're
Yeah,
twitching.
if you don't feel good about the place you work and you're at a stay-at-home and you're a stay-at-home genius programmer that has the means to go to another company, then fucking leave. Or don't and deal with it. I left my highly coveted bank teller job when a 60-year-old white guy named Nat King Cole came in to teach us how to sell reverse mortgages to the elderly. That was the last straw for me. $12 an hour wasn't worth watching them cry as they signed their homes over to the bank. I left. Also,
You've always been a man of principle, Mark.
Also, where are all these virtual walkouts, or where were they when it was revealed the Bobo Group, a group of men who fuck dogs, was organizing and operating under their noses for over a decade?
On Facebook.
For over a decade.
They didn't get a GoFundMe at least together
No,
for the Bobo
no.
I miss the
victims?
Bobo group. I want to
Right?
hear
The
about them
Bobo
more.
Group. Where are they? Then maybe we don't. Facebook has some really disgusting groups for everyone knows, right?
They
If
also
you
had
work-
those jobs, like people didn't seem to care about the jobs, the scrubber jobs that were just like destroying people's brains, scrubbing all the bad shit. Like,
Right. I mean, if you work for Facebook, just know we all know that you have 15 million disgusting groups that operate within your thing, and deal with it.
And you know they
can
could find them too. They could just
that's what I'm
throw a
saying.
rock and hit a disgusting group that they could shut down.
I could find 300 tomorrow. Right. 300
Imagine
groups.
having back end access.
Yeah, exactly. No one's cleaning up Facebook at this point, guys. Enough with the virtual walkouts. That was fucking pathetic. That's it.
wow. All right. Virtual walkouts. 2020 is quite a time to be
so
alive.
lame.
All right. Before we get going on to this one, I heard on Pardon My Take that pineapples are now like a white supremacy thing. Did you guys know about that?
They've also been a thing to find drugs at a music festival, and I've definitely approached people with a pineapple before, and they've been like, "Get out of my face, you loser!" And I'm like, "So you don't have Molly?"
Really? It's drug dealing and
Holy shit.
supremacy.
Well, no. And very famously, if upside down pineapples are for swingers.
Right.
Yeah, it's a whole fucking bunch of bullshit.
What a versatile
Okay.
fruit.
Yeah, it really is. Anyhow, that's neither here nor there. Let's move on to a somber topic. Let's talk about the autopsy of George Floyd. Where wouldn't you know it? We already have some drama in the murder trial, guys. The Floyd family obtained 2 doctors to perform an independent autopsy of George, along with the Hennepin County Medical Examiner's Office, who performed the autopsy for the state, of course, like they normally do. But the problem is they got different results. The family's doctor have not released the final report, but they say that they believe George died of asphyxia, which happens when oxygen flow is cut off, causing the brain and other organs to stop working. And specifically, the doctor, he said, "Have you seen the fucking video?"
Yeah.
And that was pretty much, they were like, the way it went was basically they said they believed he was asphyxiated, and that is what was the cause of death. You're not going to see trauma to the neck because it was a lack of oxygen, and that's their
the report.
determination.
The report paired with the video. Case closed.
Exactly.
I heard it compared to a lion suffocating a zebra.
Yeah. The doctors and the lawyers have all kinds of quotes on that. So it was just too much. That's just the facts of what they're saying. And then, the video is the supporting evidence there. Meanwhile, the county office, they say the cause of death, and this is their official report that was released Monday night. Cause of death: cardiopulmonary arrest complicating law enforcement subdual, restraint, and neck compression. Manner of death: homicide. Remember, only 3rd degree. How injury occurred: descendant experienced a cardiopulmonary arrest while being restrained by law enforcement officers. So it's saying that it was a heart attack. Other significant conditions: osteochlorotic, I guess that means high cholesterol, and hypertensive heart disease, meaning at high blood pressure, fentanyl intoxication, and recent methamphetamine use. So,
that's dangerous. That scares me that they're even mentioning that right now.
Even though there's a video of the life being choked out of George Floyd on the street, according to the county, it was a heart attack from the stress of the situation that did him in, and that was what the murder was. Not clear how the independent autopsy will affect the criminal or civil case at this point.
Yeah. And just to touch on the 3rd degree homicide, I was watching and I saw a medical expert, and, a lot of people are talking about, you don't want to give them 1st degree because if they can't prove it's 1st degree, that's a way for them to get off. But then I heard some guy on TV being like, at what fucking point does it not become 1st degree when someone is literally telling you that they can't breathe? Right.
Certainly 2nd at the least.
At least.
If you really want to see shit wild, then give this guy manslaughter in 5 to 10.
Yeah, no shit.
Then watch what happens.
Right.
Right. And that's what's scary about this, right? Is that we're going down the path where you could potentially see that happening, and and that's scary. And then like we said yesterday, the other officers have not even been detained.
Right.
So who knows what's going to happen?
Yeah. What the fuck are they doing? They fled the state. They're like
a couple of them did.
Yeah,
the guy who was standing watch.
Can we get them back to the fucking state?
The guy who was standing watch had a bunch of complaints too, and he was one of them.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Anyways, taking it to the internet, Joe Biden has something that can help us all with this. He said, quote, the idea that instead of standing there and teaching a cop when there's an unarmed person coming at him with a knife or something, to shoot him in the leg instead of the heart. There's a lot of different things that can change. So Joe Biden said that to a group of black leaders that, we can fix this by aiming for people's legs.
Isn't that how Sean Taylor died? With an artery in the leg?
Yes, because there's main arteries in the legs.
R.I.P. Sean Taylor. I'm wearing a Sean Taylor jersey today.
Yeah,
that's the speed defense.
He's advocating for training to aim for legs.
That's his solution. One of his solutions. Many things could change, Mark.
Well, when Dennis Hopper,
certainly the leg aiming is number one. Number one for Joe, I guess.
He shoot him in the leg.
Wait a minute. In Speed, did he get shot in the leg? I thought it was the shoulder.
That was the whole thing with Speed. He was like, shoot me, because so that way he couldn't take him as a hostage.
That's Joe Biden's favorite movie.
Yeah, I love Speed.
Well, hopefully you don't clip the main vein. That is an odd take from Joe.
Yeah, it's a terrible take from Joe.
All right, guys, real quick. We've seen a lot of things go away during this pandemic, our economy, peace, our mental health. But let's not focus on the things we lost. Let's focus instead on what we've gotten back. Anonymous is back, guys. That's right. The original hacktivist group is back after being taken down by a snitch named Sabu, who sold out his entire community after he got caught hacking. His defense, though, guys, was he had to take care of a number of children that he was responsible for.
His defense was, I'm a hacker.
Yeah, couldn't go to jail for it. Maybe, Sabu, you should have thought of that before you started fucking hacking, you dickhead, and then sold everyone out. Whatever, that's a whole other story.
Right, yeah, I mean, is that like an honor amongst thieves thing? I mean, like,
Sabu sold them all out, and he was like, what do you expect me? I got to take care of these kids. Like, I can't go to jail.
That idiot went in this way. He should have gone in this way. Like, imagine the constructive criticism they're giving Sabu.
I would imagine this is how 99.9% of hacking groups go down.
I mean, why do you think Bitcoin is so volatile? Like,
a lot of people did hard time because of Sabu, who is hanging tough right now. On Sunday, guys, the hacker group Anonymous took credit for an attack that took down the Minneapolis Police Department's website with a DDoS attack. That's an attack where you overwhelm a server with traffic. It also published a set of email addresses and passwords it claimed to have stolen involving people in the Minneapolis or the Minnesota government. However, 95% of the data that they released as a leak had come out in older breaches. So that's Anonymous whatever. We haven't seen much from them yet other than taking
This
out a
is the
website.
B squad. Yeah, this is the new one. The actual amazing hackers got taken down by Sabu.
Their voices are different too.
Yeah,
It's not as,
We'll
it's
see,
not as
guys.
cool as of a voice.
they're not as intimidating.
No, they aren't.
Also, guys, Ebola is back.
Oh,
Yeah, according
So
to the
we
Wall Street
got
Journal.
hackers and Ebola.
It's back, baby.
Oh man.
Yeah, according to the Wall Street Journal, the Democratic Republic of Congo on Monday reported a fresh cluster of Ebola infections in the country's northwest, exacerbating a health emergency that already includes other lingering outbreaks of the virus and rising cases of COVID-19. And apparently, guys, QAnon is also back. QAnon posted on May 30th
Where'd
that
they go?
the Insurrection Act was coming.
Oh, really?
I saw the posts. Pretty crazy shit.
they called
the Insurrection
They called
Act.
the Insurrection Act.
I mean,
of
that's not
1807.
that. That's not that big of a stretch, honestly. Like
No,
that,
it's good, but it's not incredible yet.
It's pretty
right, that's
impressive.
not that great of a call to be.
Just
Pretty
saying.
impressive.
Pretty impressive 2 days earlier. Okay. That's it for that.
Wow.
That's what's back.
That was a fun one. All right, good news, guys. I got another fun one. On July 1st, Russia will vote on whether or not Putin should be in charge until at least 2036.
Whoa!
Yeah. Yeah, the vote was supposed to take place on April 22nd, but was postponed because of coronavirus, because Russia has the third largest coronavirus cases amongst all countries, and it's running rampant over there. Officials reported that voters will have a chance to cast ballots in the 6 days preceding July 1st to reduce crowds and for safety purposes amid the pandemic. No word yet on how quickly your family will be killed if you don't vote for Putin, or if you can even not vote for Putin. That hasn't been determined yet.
Right.
Yeah,
There's going to be two options on the ballot.
Why are they even
but
having this?
Well,
Both of them,
and
both
he
of them are
moved
going
to
to be
the.
Putin.
This is like 2 weeks after he moved to the like voting from your phone, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, it's going to be unanimous.
Did Q call this one too?
Yeah. Yeah. Under the current law, Putin already maxed his presidential term limit, so he was going to be done. That's why he was trying to be like, remember we had a story where he was going to be like head of whatever the fuck, like parliament or whatever, and then he was going to make that position more powerful. Well, now he decided instead of doing all that they're just going to reset his term limits, like he's like re-virginizing himself. So he's just back to zero term limits.
He's a
starting this
born
time.
again
the president
dictator.
slash king. Yeah,
he's
I
a
mean,
born again dictator, and he gets
Yeah.
at least 2 more 6-year terms, taking him through 2036 because he doesn't want to deal with the whole.
Does he get a new title too? Because like he should move on from president if
He
he's
should.
gonna.
Do you
president?
guys want to
Supreme?
re-virginize? Would you guys re-virginize with me?
Well, how does that work?
Yeah.
I don't know. I've read about it. I've heard about it. I haven't read too much about
I don't know, but when I was a virgin,
Is there a procedure?
I used to use condoms back then, so I don't know. Maybe not. Putin has been in power since 2000, and
Will's writing notes.
Yeah, Putin's been in power since 2000, and will be until someone more evil than him usurps him and sends pieces of his body to the 4 corners of Russia as a warning. I mean, come on. What the fuck? I'm making fun of Russia, though, guys, because it's like drinking while watching intervention thing for me. Things aren't so great right now in the old U.S. of A. at the current moment. So I'm doing a little belittling of Russia because it's fun
we're
for
just
me.
all going to hell in a handbasket.
Yeah. Oh, also, last thing real quick. And Trump's offered to invite Putin to the G7 summit in September, even though the UK and Canada have vehemently opposed that he come and Russia come because Russia was evicted from the G7 in 2014 after the annexation of Crimea. So there you go.
Oh boy.
All right.
Yeah, that's it.
Google. Does
Putin have any kids?
Re-virgin. It sounds
probably
good.
a
Sounds
few
like
thousand.
sounds like it could pay some dividends. I don't know. We should look into it.
I'm gonna look it up. All right, we're at a crossroads. Like we're just talking about, all kinds of shit happening everywhere, all over the world, and that crossroads is nowhere as pronounced as the presidential general election market on Predict It. For the first time ever, Joe Biden has eclipsed Donald Trump, leading him 52 cents to 48 cents. In the general election market. Now, Biden had been down in like the low 40s for most of the time, with Trump being around 50 to 55 at his highest in the recent months. But this is a flip, basically, with Trump still declining a little bit, staying steady, Biden surging. So does this mean you need to grab as much Biden while you can, while it's still a coin flip, basically? Or does it mean that you can sock away more shares of Trump at more than double return? What are you guys thinking here?
Not as long as he's telling us other places to shoot people.
Yeah, Trump's going to continue to go down for a little while, at least, I would say. I don't see it switching in the next week.
I think the general consensus of the population is Trump's approval ratings are going to break the floor in the next couple days
Yeah.
to a week. Well, but then again, Biden, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not predicting Biden's going to win the fucking election by any means. You know how long it is for that guy to get to November? But
Yeah.
I don't think Trump's going to gain any ground in the next couple weeks in this particular market.
No. So maybe just chill for now. I've got Donald Kong shares. I'm going to stay put for now, see if he can do something good once the streets are safe again. And of course, if people can get Joezilla if they feel like this surge is for real and it's only going to keep getting higher. Now's the time to strike on that if that's the way you think it's going to go. So make sure you go to predictit.org/promo/hardfactor20 to get your first $20 matched on us in the stock market of politics.
All right, guys, and finally, real quick, we got a breaking news story going on right here. Carol Baskin of the Tiger King drama has been awarded Joe Exotic's zoo in Oklahoma as part of the ongoing lawsuit. So Carol Baskin will be...
This isn't a prank?
This is not a prank, and
Are you
that
kidding
is
me?
that is probably the worst thing that Carol Baskin could have won. Is like what 800? How many people? How many animals are there? Like 800, 600 mouths to feed.
Malnourished tigers.
Yeah, she's in big trouble. Big trouble.
She's going to have to get some more husbands to feed to.
Let's see if she actually really likes lions and tigers. This will be a proving ground, won't it?
We shall see. Joe Exotic wrote a handwritten note from jail. He's got pretty good penmanship. You wouldn't. He doesn't know.
No.
He doesn't know what to capitalize when. He's still calling for a pardon from Donald Trump, which at this point, anything's possible as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, what do you guys think is going to happen with Baskin? What are the odds? What are the odds she keeps it, liquidates it? What do you guys think is going to happen?
Liquidation.
Yeah, liquidation for sure. I don't think she
In
wants anything to do with it.
In 2020, I wouldn't be surprised if she procreated a half tiger human. I mean, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I mean, she doesn't even keep that many cats, right? At her place, right? So, like,
It's so many cats to feed now.
Baby liger.
She's going to sell it for like $1 just to piss Joe off, probably.
Unfortunately, we're going to have a lot of dead cats in Oklahoma. PETA, if you're listening, I'd head over there now. I know. Get your popcorn out, boys and girls.
Somebody needs to get that situation under control because those tigers are. I mean, they had Jeff Lowe, and now they got Carol Baskin.
You know,
how does it get taken away from Jeff Lowe?
I think because it's technically Joe Exotic's property, I believe. I just read the headline.
Because Jeff Lowe just left. He just up and left one day.
Yeah.
This is too
Sorry,
much
Carol.
for me.
Carol's the big loser in the end here anyway. And that's going to do it for Hard Factor, guys. Thank you so much for listening. As we said at the top of the show, if you haven't, we are on Sirius XM Radio, Barstool's 85, Power 85, Sirius XM, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday every week at 11 a.m. Eastern. So if you want to check us out, check that out. I believe SiriusXM is doing like a 4-month free trial right now. We have a new fantastic Hard Factor shirt out. If you haven't, check it out. That helps us out a lot, and it will help spread the word on Hard Factor. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Like and follow on Spotify. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts, iTunes. A couple things. We do 5-star reviews. So if you give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, no matter how witty, smart, dumb, stupid, mean, clever, not, whatever you want it to say, we'll read it live on air. Also, we're doing debates today, listener debates. First time we're throwing the listeners in the debate circle, if you will.
In my opinion, it worked out better than I ever could have expected, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, so that's coming up at 11 a.m. on Barstool Radio.
A great time.
Yeah, it was really good. If you don't follow us, at Hard Factor Mark, at Hard Factor Will, at Hard Factor Wes, at Hard Factor Pat right here. And most importantly, have a great fucking day.
Yeah.